How is everyone doing today? And in this video, we are going to be making a tier list on the characters in the game at the current moment, and especially with me being level 47 and basically playing with every single character in the game besides two, but I'll get to that when we get to that portion in the video. We are going to be making a tier list on where I think everyone is at the current moment when it comes to the value and how much you should probably go and build them because of how strong they are. I basically play with everyone in the game right now, and I've got a good grasp and what I think the meta is going to go towards in, and I think it's just going to be super fun talking about a lot of the characters that I think are just super strong that a lot of people are not looking at. Before we get into all that, make sure you leave a like, comment, sub, all the different type of stuff, and let me know what your favorite character is in the game currently when it comes to the fun factor and the power factor of it as well. But let's go ahead and start ranking some characters. Now, the characters I immediately want to go ahead and rank because I think these characters are just right now at the bottom of the well when it comes to their value as a character and where they should be used and when you can use them. Billy's gonna have to go here. Where are the other ones at? Ben is gonna have to go here, and then also looking at Corin. Now, these three guys at the current moment are nowhere to be seen in the meta. Corin is a really freaking fun character, and I cannot take that away from her, and she has some type of fun aspect to her as well with her buzzsaw that you could hold endlessly and get a lot of anomaly off of it, get a lot of damage off of it, get easy chain attacks with it as well. But the problem is a lot of her animations are super slow and she is not invulnerable for the most part in a lot of these moves that she has. The problem with that is that a lot of these enemies later down the line in Shiyu defense, they attack quick, and when they attack quick, they also attack hard. These guys eviscerate half your health just by existing, and Corin cannot take that ability to be able to hold down her attacks because these enemies hit so much. This kind of hurts her performance, and not only that, she has a character that is her direct opposite, I guess you could say, or one of her very similar units which take up her spot in anomaly buildup, which I will be talking about later. So Corin sadly just doesn't have a lot of power right now in the meta, and I don't see her doing anything crazy right now, especially with the character that came out that has basically taken her spot, which is basically Piper, which we'll get to later down the line. Ben at the moment as well, although he has really great anomaly buildup and he has the ability to generate crit rate and a shield for your team, his use in the game right now when it comes to the meta and where he is in Shiyu defense, you really want really quick clears and you really want to go ahead and do as much damage as possible. And looking at Ben being a more defensive style player, with him being a little bit of a slower player, relying on enemies to hit him for his parries and being able to use his follow-ups from his skills, it's just really hard to rank him higher than a lot of these other characters up in the list because of the use that they have in regards to what they have versus what Ben has. And I think Ben's playstyle is very slow compared to a lot of these other characters which have many more abilities to them and have many more mechanics placed on top of them than something that what Ben has. And Ben just doesn't have a great team to be built around, besides of course having Coleta on the team, which Coleta has her own fair share of problem, which I will talk about in a quick moment. Billy, sadly, there's nothing really wrong with him in regards to what he can do. It's just that he doesn't have the streamlined amount of damage, and his mechanic that he has uniquely to himself, which is chain attack 2 times. I have full 100% damage buff for my ultimate, which is absolutely huge for him. The problem is it takes a crap ton of time to ramp up, and for him to do his DPS, although range, which is really cool, it isn't nearly as fast as a lot of other characters in this game. So these 3 characters at the moment are the bottom tiers that I can see when using them, and also talking about how they work as Shiyu defense. But let's go ahead and start talking about the next few tiers, which let's start talking about our only C tier, which is going to be Anton. I think Anton right now is a really cool character, and let me say this right now. Looking at Corin, looking at Anton, and anybody else upwards, I do want to say that a lot of these characters are able to hold their own when it comes to using them in probably Shiyu defense, when it comes to using them in Hollow Zero, but compared to the characters on top of them, they have way more unique traits and way more mechanics and way more characteristics that put them above the characters they are below, of course. So there's a lot of really good stuff that comes from these characters. And looking at Anton, I would definitely say he's an all-around DPS. He has a lot of really good streamlined damage. He has really good anomaly buildup and high days buildup as well when you start getting his drill running, of course, which is based off his energy. But overall, not really crazy compared to the DPS we're going to see later down the line, which he has a lot to basically compete against. And it's kind of unfair to him in all honesty, but once we get our next electric DPS, we can basically kiss Anton goodbye, sadly, for the most part. He just doesn't have anything insane to him when it comes to him baseline. He is a really good character overall, but when I start naming the characters on top of him, you'll understand why I'm getting where I'm at. let's go to the next few characters. Of course, I do want to go ahead and reference the list I did make prior, because this allows me to not streamline gap everything in regards to how I'm working against it. But let's go ahead and talk about our B tier, and our B tier at the current moment is going to be Anby, Coleta, and also Lucy. Now, the reason I have these three in B tier, these guys are absolutely amazing on their own. They can do the job and they get it done. Anby is an amazing stunner, and it's going to be part of one of the best teams for Zhu Yan, and overall she's free. She's the first character you get in the game, which is a really nice thing to note. Coleta, same thing. She is really good at doing her job when it comes to being a dazer or a stunner. The only problem with Coleta at the current moment is that her animations are absurdly slow, making it so much harder for her to do the job that someone in her own class is able to do faster. I would love to see the comparison between Coleta and Anby, just because I feel like Anby can get a lot more done in the time Coleta gets her stuff done, and it's just overall feels way better to use Anby right now than for me to use Coleta, and also rely to have Ben on the team to be able to help out with their moveset even more. Lucy as well is something I do want to talk about in whole, and it's very interesting that I'm putting her right there in that spot. And the reason I'm doing so is because looking at Lucy's kit as a support character, which she's supposed to be, she is very selfish in regards to what she's giving. When it comes to her core passive, she's going to be giving her boars the attack and also the impact that she has, and is going to increase it by a certain amount. And also for her team bonus, she's going to be giving the boars her crit rate and her crit damage, overall helping out her solo damage as well. Her EX skill is what's going to give us the cheer on effect, and this is going to give all her allies 20% attack and also plus 76 up to a maximum of 600. Now the thing about this is that she's wasting her core passive and also her team passive on the boars herself. She is not giving anything to the team besides the attack bonus that she gets from the skill. And as a support character, I don't see the point right now, of course, with where we're at in the current moment in the game of Lucy, where she is giving bonuses to herself versus just straight up giving them to the DPS, which really wants those bonuses themselves when it comes to maybe inheriting some of that crit damage, maybe inheriting some of that impact. That would have been really great to have for a lot of your allies, and Lucy just takes it for herself. So I personally don't like the fact that she's trying to be a very selfish support when she is a support trying to help out a lot of the characters in her team. And I'm going to be explaining why the other supports tier above her when it comes to what they're able to do, but this is so far what I have in the B tier. The next set of characters that I'm going to be putting up here in the A tier are going to be Nekomata, Soldier 11, Sokaku, and also looking at, I definitely want to say Grace. Or, okay, we're going to talk about Grace in a quick second, but right now looking at Soldier 11, Nekomata, and Sokaku. Nekomata, Soldier 11, they're really great DPSs for their element at the current moment. Nekomata has amazing movement, amazing DPS, has really quick access to damage buffs from her quick assist and also her dodge counter. So this is overall a really good thing for Nekomata. She has a really good relic set, and it overall helps her in her playstyle. Same thing with Soldier 11, really strong character when it comes to the damage she's able to output, her being able to manually do fire suppression without needing her skill and without needing her ultimate. She has a lot of anomaly buildup, and she helps build up days really quickly with her skill and her ultimate, which is really satisfying to do. These are just overall really great DPSs. I really can't say nothing more about that. Sokaku as well, the reason why Sokaku is over Lucy is because she's not selfish. The reason why I like Sokaku more than Lucy is because if you look at Sokaku's kit, Sokaku gives the attack bonus up to 1,000, not 600, up to 1,000 to any ally that she switches the fly the flag to. The next thing is that for her team passive, she's also giving an ice damage bonus to the squad, which is a very big bonus to give to the ice DPS in the game. She is not inheriting any of this for herself. She is spreading it to the rest of her team, and that is what you should expect from a support in the game. So she's giving ice damage bonus and she's giving an attack bonus. She's already one-upping Lucy, and the reason why I'm giving this tier placement to Sokaku, because she's actually helping out the team and not only inheriting that ice damage bonus, let's say, for herself. So you definitely want to look at it like that, where Lucy is over here hogging all the stats for her hogs when she could have shared that with the team. Sokaku's able to give more attack than Lucy, and is also given an ice damage bonus for ice DPS, allowing her to be in multiple teams, not just in for the attack percentage, but also in ice teams specifically for that ice damage bonus. So Sokaku is much better support in my opinion when it comes to what she's able to provide versus what Lucy's able to provide. Now going into the character I was going to put in A, but honestly, I don't know at the current moment. Right now, Grace is a really good Anomaly character, and I really see Anomaly going so far in the future, and definitely going to be one of our core team types that we're going to be working on in Zenless Zone Zero. I do think Disorder and Anomaly characters in whole are just very, very OP. I think they do so much damage and do so much work for so little investment, and it's something that you 100% have to see in the showcase that I made a couple days back, where I showcase off Piper and also Soldier 11 and Lucy and the disorders that I'm getting back to back to back. It's so much free damage, and seeing Grace, she does the damage and she has really good AoE. The only problem I have with Grace right now is the amount of power that the shocks give off in the Anomaly buildup or the Anomaly reactions. You are getting 20 to 30k shocks off, while Piper's over here hitting 80k to 90k assaults. And that is a very big deal to have that much of a damage difference. Although Grace for sure is able to have that benefit of being a ranged character and being able to build up her Anomaly just by hitting a couple basic attacks, overall really good qualities coming from Grace, and I definitely think that she might be in the A tier, could also possibly be in the A+. I might just keep her an A+. I think anomalies are just so good in this game, and Grace has the potential to be in that spot as well. Going into the A+ section, I'm going to be putting Nicole and also Piper. Nicole and Piper and Grace, I think Grace would be back here maybe or something like that, but Nicole and Piper overly slept on. Nicole gives so much more when it comes to being a support than anybody else in this game. And this is because of how easy her engine is going to be to get. It's literally $1. I'm just gonna say that it's $1 to get the engine, but you also can get it off of Zhu Yan's W engine banner if you do a couple multis as well. Nicole is able to do a 40% defense down, which is absolutely insane when it comes to any team in the game. So she can be universally used no matter what. Not only that, with giving a 40% defense reduce, she's also able to buff up ether damage with her team passive, overall helping out any ether DPS to come out in the future. So you have two very strong buffs immediately: defense down by 40%, ether damage bonus. Now putting it on top of her signature, we are now looking at a 15% damage bonus on top of the ether damage bonus and the 40% reduced down. That is an absolutely insane amount of buffs to be giving to one character, and for the fact that she shares that to the whole team is an absurd thing to have. So Nicole is straight up one of the craziest characters in the game, with having pull in, with having ether damage bonus, regular damage bonus, and also defense shred. She is a character that not a lot of people have been working on and have been sleeping on, and I definitely ask you to try her out, especially with Zhu Yan's release, with her being one of the best supports. Try out Nicole. She's an overly crazy character, and she does so much work when it comes to going against these higher shiyu floors and being able to synergize with so many different characters in the game. The next character, talking about it, Piper. Piper's broken. Piper is so strong in the game right now. She is popping 90 to 80k assaults by herself, very minimally invested. And also talking about how her disorders, hitting for 120k, hitting for 150k, hitting for 200k. She is an absolute monster, with her being able to simply get her anomaly buildup done just by holding down her EX skill. Her EX skill lasts a very long time and is a very long animation that when you switch out of Piper, she's able to finish up her follow-up portion of her skill, which gives an enormous amount of anomaly buildup and allows you to keep that meter for when you want to go back to Piper and proc assault with Disorder, giving you a huge explosion of damage. Piper is overall such a crazy anomaly character, and the only reason Grace is up here, the only reason I have Grace up here with Piper, is due to the fact that while Piper is spinning, she cannot, I guess you could say, be invulnerable. So she will be taking damage if you are using her improperly, and if you're in her EX skill and an enemy attacks you, you will be losing health. That's the only thing I give Grace over Piper, because Grace can stay at range and do what she needs to do. Piper, although I think does a better job and overall has the better reaction, Piper sadly has to be in front of the enemy at all times to be able to build up her anomaly and also do what she needs to do. So right now, I think Nicole, everybody is sleeping on. I think Piper, everybody is sleeping on. These two are absolutely busted in their own teams and can be used in a lot of different teams. And if you have either of these two characters, I know you have Nicole, she's free in the game, build her. If you have Piper, build her. She is strong. Piper is absolutely absurd. Nicole, absolutely absurd. And talking about the last few characters, of course, in the tier list, Lycan, Rina, Ellen, and Zhu Yan. all these characters go to S. Every single one of these guys go to S. And the reason why, Ellen, do I have to explain? She gives herself a fat ton of crit damage. She has her roaming state, which allows her to have absolutely amazing movement. She has so many invulnerability frames, and she's overall just a really good and fast DPS with a lot of AoE, with a lot of segmented portions of her skill, a lot of portions to her combos that make her absolutely destructive with all the damage that she's able to do. She gives herself so many damage bonuses, it's insane, and she's able to do so much with so little. She has by far one of the most solid premium teams at the current moment in the game, and she's overall just the complete package, a complete character right now as a DPS. Rena, by far one of the craziest characters in the game right now too, being able to help out the electric team with her core passive, and also given a res pen ratio buff to whoever is on the field currently with their puppets. People are sleeping on how strong this is and how always strong this has been in any Hoyoverse game. When it comes to lowering res, when it comes to lowering defense in Star Rail, when it comes to lowering the elemental res in Genshin Impact, these have always been some crazy strong modifiers to give a character. And for the fact that Rena straight up gives it to your DPS, overly crazy for her to have in her kit. This is just an overall really good character to have in the game, just because not only is she able to give that buff, she takes 0 field time to be able to work with Rena on the field. Use her skill, you pop out, leave. Use her skill, leave. Lose her skill, leave. You want to use her ultimate, leave. Every single thing that Rena does, she can quick assist out. So she leaves immediately as soon as you get her on the field, which makes it absolutely perfect for any character that you need to switch out into, mainly the DPSs, and get the job done. Overall, really great character. Lycan, God tier stunner. You hit them 2 times, they can't move. You hit them 3 times, they're dead. Something like that is super cool about Lycan. And for the fact that, of course, he's able to give a stun multiplier added on top of losing their daze meter. That's an absurd amount of damage bonus as well to give to a team. He is just overall a really strong dazer and doesn't necessarily need to be put in the ice team only. He just has overall crazy amounts of impact and crazy amounts of daze that he can apply to the enemy, and overall is a god tier stunner. And not even talking about his EX skill, which puts him in a spot where he can never take damage. You do your couple of charge attacks, straight up hold its EX skill, the boss is attacking you, but that doesn't matter because you have iframes during the whole string of his skill, which is absolutely absurd and basically puts him in god mode for the rest of that turn. So it's absolutely amazing to see what Lycan's able to do. And Julian's gonna be busted as well. Julian's gonna be one of the best DPSs in the game for sure when it comes to having someone like Nicole on the team, and also with the 1.1 characters like Chingy and also Seth helping out. She's going to be insane. She has constant DPS, doesn't have any reason to stop because she's able to dodge within her strings. Overall, really good character, and is going to be a god tier DPS by the time she comes out. I am so excited for her to release. But this is overall my tier list at the current moment when it comes to Zenless Zone Zero and the power these characters have. The reason I'm placing them where they're at is because I play with basically all of them. The only 2 I haven't played with at the moment when it comes to them being on my account is Coleta, and also same with Nekomata. But I have 100% have used these characters extensively in the betas because of course I could only get them for some reason on both of them, and I played them for such amount of time that I know how they basically work, and I've seen a lot of videos and seen a lot of showcases and how they are right now in the game. But of course those places could change depending if I use them more or not. But I do think generally with the characters in the game at the moment, with the way the meta is shaping up, I do think we're going to be leaving stunners or pure stunners in the past, with anomaly build-up characters taking precedent, because I think that's just so much extra damage compared to having a stunner on the team. But that will be for another video. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching all the way to the video. Let me know if you disagree. Let me know if you agree. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. See you on the next one, and peace.